Hi, this is Mike Filipov from PracticeGuitarNow.com, and in this video I'm going to talk about the best way to warm up for playing and practicing guitar. Warming up is an important part of playing guitar, but too many people do this incorrectly. One of the most common mistakes people make is collecting too many warm-up exercises that then take up way too much practice time and provide no benefit. There are two reasons why I don't recommend any specific warm-up exercises. The first one is, as I mentioned just a moment ago, most people already have way too many exercises to begin with. And since all of those exercises are not at all related to the actual practice materials you intend to practice, then practicing additional extra abstract exercises simply takes up part of your valuable practice time but provides really very little, if any, benefit. And the second reason why I'm not a fan of specific warm-up exercises is because most of the time warming up is done in a very mindless way that just encourages you to develop bad habits in your technique, because typically you just run through exercises without paying specific attention to technique in either hand. The most perfect example of this is the standard 1, 2, 3, 4 chromatic exercise. You've all seen this exercise that's in every magazine article and bunch of videos about guitar exercises, but it is bad and inefficient to practice, not only for the two reasons I just mentioned, but also because the actual finger permutation of chromatic playing 1, 2, 3, 4 is virtually never going to be used in real life guitar playing. Think about it. How many times in your guitar playing life have you ever played this chromatic run all the way through in an actual guitar solo? I would say probably never. So for all these reasons, I do not recommend that you seek out specific and abstract warm-up finger exercises. But that being said, here's the way I do recommend that you warm up that will be much more efficient in terms of helping you get the most accomplished out of your practice time. First, you have to warm up your mind, and that means getting yourself in the mindset of what it means to practice guitar. After you come home from work or school or doing some other activity, your mind is not yet into the mode of where it needs to be to practice guitar effectively. So you can start by reviewing your practicing objectives for today's practice session, or reviewing your notes from a previous practice session, or simply looking at the practice schedule you intend to practice and just taking a few minutes to think things through, think about what you intend to accomplish during this practice session, what are some of the challenges you might need to pay attention to for each individual practice item you have in your list for this practice session. Taking a few minutes at the start of your practice session to think things through in this way will help you to switch into the problem-solving mindset that you need to be in to get the most accomplished in a given practice session. If you spent any time on my YouTube channel watching my other videos, or if you've read any of my articles about practicing guitar, you know that one of the most important things I always talk about is practicing with a very, very focused mind. And so warming up your mind is just as, if not more important, than warming up your hands. The next part of warming up is, of course, warming up your hands. And this is something that you obviously need to do as well in order to get the blood flowing through your fingers and prevent injuries during your actual practice session. As far as what to actually practice to warm up your hands, I recommend to simply start practicing the first item on your practicing schedule, but practice it very slowly. So if you intend to work on building speed with some scale sequences, just slow everything way down, don't push yourself, don't even use the metronome. Practice at about half of your maximum speed, something you can very easily handle without any strain, and just play through whatever item is on your schedule. Let's say that's the scale sequence. And as you play through it, observe what happens in each hand, make sure your technique is efficient, and start already paying attention to all the details you'll need to be aware of once you actually start the actual practice session and begin working on your speed. This is a much more efficient use of your time than starting with some abstract finger exercises that are going to be practiced mindlessly and likely to develop some bad habits along the way, and then transitioning to your actual practice material and starting from scratch there without your mind being focused yet on any of the things you need to be paying attention to. The next topic I want to address is about stretching your hands before playing. This is actually something I do not have a strong opinion on one way or another. Personally, I have never stretched my hands out before playing or practicing for any extended period of time. I've tried doing this for a few weeks at some point, but I never noticed any real difference in my playing, so I stopped. Personally, I'm of the opinion that if you use correct technique and if you take the time to start playing slowly and get the blood flowing through your fingers, you'll be just fine and you won't have any injuries. And that's my opinion, that's my experience. Of course, there are some guitar players who will tell you completely the opposite, and they swear by stretching every day before practicing. And like I said, on this issue I don't have a strong opinion one way or another. If you want to stretch, go ahead and stretch for a few minutes before playing. If you don't want to stretch, then don't stretch. I will only emphasize that make sure you always use the right technique for each hand when you play to avoid injuries, and do not spend extensive amount of time stretching, because that is not going to give you any additional benefit in your practicing. So that's it for this video. Make sure to start using these concepts during your warm-up time, and this will actually help you a lot with maximizing the efficiency of your practice if your practice time is limited to begin with. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button below to like the video. If you're not yet a subscriber, subscribe to the channel to get regular notifications of all my future videos to improve your practicing. And if you want to see more videos and get even more help and resources with making your guitar practicing a lot more effective, come to my website, practiceguitarnow.com. There's a link right above me where you can find a lot more articles, videos, and other resources to make you a better guitar player. Have fun practicing, and I'll see you next time.